Alright, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai. Okay, double honors to the apostles of great millstone. Let's say, all praise unto Yahweh Shem Yahshai Wahar Rakak Kadash. Double honors to the apostles of great millstone. Honest you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. So back out here again for the mercy of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Okay, to teach this word, Lord's will. Okay, we're gonna get into some scriptures. We're gonna touch on some of the stuff that's happening out here within the world right now. For instance, you got this thing now with America and China. They're going at it back and forth with what's known as trade wars. Because pretty much what happens is when a country feels intimidated, okay, because America's been the what you know as the dominant force, okay, the economic force that has been for the longest. But now you got it to where other people are finding alternatives. Okay, they're looking for other ways of making money, and as a result, okay, the dominance that America once had, okay, that's dwindling. In fact, the scripture goes into that. It says how that the grinding shall cease, okay, neither for the head or the tail, and that is that's evident. Evident meaning you can see it. Okay, that's evident within the American economy, and you see how different people live. Okay, you haven't got no middle class out there in America like you used to have it back in the day when you had manufacturing and so on and so forth. Okay, and you had it to where that whole marketplace was built up on what? It was built on the petrol dollar. But now you got it to where people are coming out with the petrol yuan, where they want to sell petrol in the Chinese currency, which is the yuan, which is going to lead to what? Which is going to lead to the situation that we are having right now with the trade wars. Okay, so they're going to start the trade wars, and when you have it to where them trade wars pick up and, you know, countries are losing billions and billions of dollars, okay, off of these trade wars that they're going to be having, whether it's the US losing that or whether it's the Chinese losing that, that's going to transpire out there into a hot war, man. So don't be surprised, okay? You shouldn't be surprised when a year from, you know, not necessarily a year, but maybe a month, okay? 2 months from now, they're going to be naming China the bad guy, and they're going to be doing certain things that's going to be against them. Okay, because that's how these different wars play out. All of the wars are bankers' wars, and when you got it to where bank over there is fighting against bank over there, okay, you're gonna have it to where wars are gonna be playing out too. Okay, so we're gonna start off within the book of Mark, the 13th chapter. Okay, Mark the 13th chapter, starting from the 3rd verse. It says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, okay, Peter and James and John asked him privately, tell us when these things shall be. So, you know, you got it to where certain cats out there, they'll have you think that the things that are spoken about within the scriptures are not going to come to pass. Okay, all right. And the men of the Lord 2,000 years ago, when the Lord was on the scene, they was on the mindset. They was on the mindset of thinking, wait, hold on a minute. Okay, the scriptures spoke about this man that was going to come. He's going to deliver his people, but in the deliverance process of him delivering his people, pursuant to the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter. Okay, in that process, he was also going to destroy the world. So they was hating the day, saying, look, hold on a minute, when are you going to put these things when they going to come to pass? Because it was of a necessity that Rome be destroyed at that time, okay, and then the 12 tribes of Israel be set up as a province, man, okay, as the ruling class upon the face of the earth, going back onto the book of Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter and the 6th verse, okay, so they understood those things, okay, this is a precept, the book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, and the 3rd verse, it says, knowing this first, that they shall come in the last days, scoffers walking after their own lust. So we're in the last days right now, and everybody's walking to fulfill their own desires, which is what you call lust. Okay, your carnal desires. Okay, everybody's out here to fulfill their own carnal desires. Well, guess what? The Most High ain't with that. Okay, rather more, the Most High said that what? Within the book of James, he said, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. Okay, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, okay, covetousness, idolatry, okay, adultery, that's all that's within the world. Okay, but when you pull your mind out of that world, hence the scripture within the book of Micah, the 2nd chapter, on the 10th verse, where it says, arise ye, depart, for this is not your rest. Okay, when you go via those scriptures, you have it to where you don't love the society that you're living in, and as a result, okay, you ain't bound, okay, you ain't trapped by the covetousness, you ain't trapped by the adultery, you ain't trapped by the idolatry, of which all of those iniquities are unto death. Okay, all of those things that I've mentioned, when you're talking about idolatry, people were put to death for idolatry. They were put to death for adultery. Okay, covetousness, all of them things there. That's what the Most High said you got to set your mind away from. Okay, but because we're in a sinful society, and you got it to where the wicked are in rulership, you're gonna have what? You're gonna have it to where the wicked agenda is being pushed forth, and people are gonna be walking after the desires of their own heart. Okay, which is their lust. Okay, and going out to fulfill their idolatry. That's why you got it to where a lot of people out there actually believe Caesar Borgia, okay, is the image of the Lord. That's not what the scripture describes the Lord as being. Okay, the scripture describes the Bible describes, okay, the one whom the world calls Jesus as a dark-skinned man, okay, right, with a big great beard and a big great afro, man. Okay, that's what this Bible describes as the Lord as being. But what they push forth out here within the world, and hence what people desire, because that geezer who you call Jesus out there within the church allows you to do whatever you want. Okay, and they have you believe the things that was spoken of aforetime, they're just done away with now. Okay, but I'm here to tell you that those things weren't done away with. The Lord's going to be bringing forth that ancient spirit back of wars. Okay, this is why we're reading the book of Mark, the 13th chapter. Okay, because you're going to have it to where wars is going to be popping off, man. Okay, we're going to go back into the ancient times where you got it to where there's no food, there's famines. Okay? Hey, hell, the scripture says within the book of Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, okay, they shall think themselves to be in good case, and that's when the Most High was going to throw his wrath upon it. Okay? So 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, and says, knowing this first, that they shall come in the last days, scoffers walking after their own lust, saying, where is the promise of his coming? That's what these people are saying. But the ancient men, they weren't saying that. They were saying, when are you going to make these things come to pass? And what things are we talking about? Okay, the fulfillment of Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter and the 6th verse. Isaiah, the 60th chapter. Okay, these are the things that was known as the gospel, because it was going to be the taking away of the rulership of the heathens and the setting up of the rulership of the righteous. And the scripture says that when the righteous are in authority, the people was going to rejoice. Okay, but you ain't got it to where the righteous are in authority. That's why everybody's in all kind of debt, man. Okay, everybody's in all kind of debt. Everybody's all kind of messed up via diseases, cancers. Okay, that's all because you got it to where the wicked are in rulership. But when the righteous are established, you ain't gonna have GMO crops out there. You ain't gonna have it to where the air is poisoned with all kind of chemicals. Okay, you ain't gonna be buying food out there and you getting an apple and you're thinking, is this apple organic? Because everything's just going to be totally righteous. And this is what we know as the gospel, because really when you think about it, even for the heathen, it's going to be a good thing that the 12 tribes of Israel is going to be ruling. Okay? They ain't going to be getting whipped with a continual stroke like it says within the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter. They're going to be nice, man. Okay, they're going to be doing good. Okay, they're going to have their own, after they serve their 1,000 years of hardcore captivity, they're going to have their own allotted land. Okay? That we're going to take heavy taxes from. I believe they're going to have their own land. Okay, don't quote me on that, but I believe they're going to do their own thing. Only that they're going to be tributaries unto us, man. They're going to be subject unto us. Okay? So it's going to be good for them because they're going to have their own peace. But now when you got it to where you got this monetary system, okay, bound by the dollar, and you got it to where everything gets moved from one place to another, and it gets taxed, and it goes on into the American government, you got it to where these nations are what? They're broke, they're in debt, okay? And if they don't comply to the status quo, which is NATO on America, if they don't comply to that, okay, and have it to where they basically rape their own people for whether it's coffee, whether it's apples, okay, whether it be oranges, okay, if they ain't raping their own people, okay, that's the governments out there within these different countries, then guess what? They're gonna have it to where sanctions is gonna be put upon them, and that's what you're seeing out there within the Chinese, because the Chinese was like, look, we ain't trying to make a loss like how we was losing when we was underneath the order of the world reserve currency. We're trying to have it to where our own people, okay, is gonna be doing all right. Okay, and that's why you got the trade wars that's going to be popping up right now. Okay? So back within the book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, it says, knowing this first, that they shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lust, saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers have fallen asleep, all things continue as they did from the beginning of creation. Okay? That's their mentality. They're like, oh, hold on a minute. We just do what we want. There ain't no judgment. Hey, the scripture says that a sentence for wicked acts, okay, the Most High is slow to anger. Okay, and those sentences not executed speedily, these wicked, the wicked think that they're all right. Okay, you actually got into an Esau after trying to destroy the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, after pushing out that chip. He actually thinks in his mind he's going to be all right. But you see, the scripture says that when the Most High, when he's about to fill his belly, the Most High was going to cast his wrath upon him. That's within the book of Job, the 20th chapter. That means to say when they are about to achieve their so-called New World Order agenda, the Most High was going, the Lord, whom the world calls God, okay, was going to make it difficult for them. One of the main things that's making it difficult for them, which is the scripture I'm going to hit up in a second, the book of Isaiah, the 47th chapter, is that power or secrecy, okay, that they had in the prior times, it don't exist anymore. You ain't got it to where nobody knows about the shadow government. You ain't got it to where nobody knows about the ruling elite that rule in the shadows. Everybody knows about these individuals, man. Okay, so the power that they have through secrecy, that's gone down. And through the power of the internet, which is spoken about within the scriptures, because guess what? The Lord said when this word was going to go out there to the four corners of the earth, that's when the end was going to come. How has he done that? The Most High did that with the invention of the internet, and you got it to where what? Okay, videos can be watched, okay, throughout the four corners of the earth. The truth of the scriptures, the gospel, okay, that you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and you Israelites, wherever you may be scattered, was going to be delivered from for the miseries that you're living in. That's been preached throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay, and we believe that the elect is basically sealed, is sealed. Okay, now it's just the Most High is going to have it to where he's going to unleash, okay, his wrath upon this, the enemies of the Israelites, okay, starting first and foremost with these Edomites, man. Okay, so let's carry on now with this scripture. It says, since the fathers have fallen asleep from the creation, for this they're willingly ignorant, okay, by the word of the Most High, the heavens of old standing out of waters and in waters, whereby the world that was then being overflowed perished, okay, right, but the heavens that are now are kept in store, right, in the same, reserved unto fire, against the day of judgment of and perdition of ungodly men. So the Most High has reserved the conditions that we're living in right now unto the day of fire, okay, because he destroyed the earth by water, okay, going back unto the times of Noah. Okay, now we're building the spiritual ark. Now you go to where brothers is out there teaching just like how Noah teached, which Noah represented what? He represented the elect in those times. And what did Noah do? Noah repopulated the whole entirety of the earth. What do you think the man of the Lord is going to be doing, man? Okay, you're going to have it to where 2/3 of the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and all of the Israelites out there, okay, 2/3 of them is going to be destroyed because they're hella wicked, man. Okay, they have attached themselves to the philosophies of the heathens. The scripture says, follow not the ways of the heathens, neither be dismayed at the signs of heaven, I believe, roughly paraphrase. Okay, but you go to where a whole bunch of Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, they're all up into the Catholic Church, they're all up into Islam, okay, they're all up into Hinduism, and all the religions of the heathens, and they're forsaken their power, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Well, guess what? When the Most High returns, and everybody's got the chance for mercy, when the Lord returns, he said that what? Those men which would not that I should reign over them, bring them hither and slay them before me. That's what the scripture says within the book of Luke, I believe Luke 19:47. Okay, he says those men which will not that I should reign over them, they'll ever have some other gods out there that they're going to bow down to, rather than the God of the Bible. The Most High said that what? If they ain't going to bow down to the God of the Bible, the true living power, okay, do away with it. That's what the scripture says. In fact, when you go into the book of 2nd Ezra, it says, pray not more for these people. Because Ezra, when he saw the vision of the times that we're going to be getting into right now, he saw a whole bunch of Jake getting the wacko zappo, man. He saw a whole bunch of Jakes, okay, being destroyed. And he caught some kind of feeling about it. That was his people. But the Most High said, care not for these people, because they're totally wicked, man. Okay, this is the book of Hosea, the 4th chapter. Okay, this is Hosea. Get the book of Hosea right quick. Okay. Book of Hosea. I have to go. Okay, the book of Hosea, the 4th chapter and the 6th verse. It says, "For my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge." And what knowledge do they lack? They lack the knowledge. A lot of the people are going to be destroyed because they're up into the philosophies of who? Of Esau. So they lack the knowledge, okay, that these sciences that Esau brings forth is nonsense, man. Okay, but really that goes back onto the book of Isaiah, the 6th chapter, where the scripture says that what? That the Most High put a spirit of blindness upon it, man. Okay, so they can't see. When we're going into the scriptures and we're breaking it down, they hear it, but they can't understand it. That's why when the Lord was on the scene, he said, what did he always used to say? That him that have an ear, let him hear. Okay, because this truth wasn't going to be out there. You know, people look at it, oh, he's crazy out there, he's got a dress on and he's reading out the Bible. Okay, but when the Most High has it to where one of the elect spirits comes into contact with this word, well, guess what was going to happen, man? They was going to turn back onto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, okay, and they're going to be converted and be healed. That's unlike these other individuals out there, okay, that don't convert and they get healed when they hear the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, because the Most High has put a spirit of blindness upon them. To the end of the book of Romans, the 11th chapter and the 7th verse says that what? Okay, what then? Israel has not obtained that which it seeketh for, but the election have obtained it. Okay? And the election ain't just doing it because they're so righteous. Okay, the scripture talks about how the Most High set up the election via predestination from the foundations of the earth. So it ain't a thing of just a man, oh, I'm just right. No, the Most High set it up to where certain guys was going to have their iniquities blotted out. The Most High set it up to where certain individuals was going to come, they was going to be born, they was going to do all that madness up until the time they hear that word, and they was going to convert and be healed. That's what it means to be healed, because you was going to move from a position where the Most High's wrath was against you, and now the Most High was going to have it to where he was on side with you, man. Okay? That's what it means to be converted and to be healed. But these individuals have got it to where the Most High has completely blinded them. Okay, that's the 2/3 that's going to be destroyed. The Most High has completely blinded them of the truth, man. Okay, he's made them completely reprobate. Okay, devoid of understanding. And as a result, he's going to destroy them. Okay, the book of Hosea, the 4th chapter and the 6th verse says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because they have rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. Okay, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. Because what? We went into the book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter. The scripture says that these Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, the Israelites, are willingly ignorant. Okay, so they see the prophets of the Lord out there. Everybody knows about the men of the Lord out now. Everybody knows about Great Millstone. Okay, everybody knows about Great Millstone, man. Okay? So they know that the prophets and the preachers are out there, but they're willingly ignorant. So the Most High said because they have rejected knowledge, he was also going to reject them. Okay, but we know that through the prophecy within the book of Isaiah, the 6th chapter, okay, pretty much how these individuals, okay, the Israelites, okay, the ones that get destroyed, they're going to be calling, they're going to understand, okay, in the moment of their distress. They're going to understand that, hold on a minute, them guys that was on the corner, okay, that was teaching this word, they was right. They're going to see that within that time. But guess what? The Lord said that what? That he was still going to destroy them. Okay, this is a precept right quick within the book of Proverbs, the 1st chapter. And I'll start from the 23rd verse. It says, turn you at my reproof. We're reproofing you right now. The scripture says within the book of Isaiah, the 58th chapter, okay, cry aloud, spare not. Okay, lift you up your voice like a trumpet. Okay, tell my people their transgressions and the house of Israel their iniquity. So that's what we're doing right now, man. We're telling you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans about your iniquity. We're telling you about how you've been going totally off. Okay, how the philosophies and the ideas that you're into are totally wicked. Okay, and as a result, the Most High is going to bring about a heavy judgment upon you. But see, the scripture says also that within the book of Ezekiel, the 9th chapter on the 4th verse, okay, set a mark upon the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So we only can put that mark. Okay, we can only push that word onto the men that was going to turn back onto the Most High, the elect that was set from the foundations of the earth. As for the rest of these dudes that hear the word and they don't turn back onto the reproof of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, what's going to happen to them? The Most High was going to destroy them, man. Okay, and we're going to read about that. Okay, so it says, turn you at my reproof, and behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, okay, and I'll make my words known unto you. So when you turn back onto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai in sincerity, he was going to have it to where what? He was going to have it to where he was going to make the understanding of the scriptures, okay, open unto you. Because there's some dark mysteries within the scriptures, okay, of which the Most High can open your mind out to those understandings if you turn back unto him. Okay, which is going to happen when? It's going to happen when you hear the reproofing of the men of the Lord, and this is the men of the Lord, or this is what the scriptures say, or I've been going off on this, and then the Most High expounds upon you the understanding of the scriptures, the virgin birth. That's a big stumbling for a lot of people. Okay, that's a big stumbling block for a lot of individuals. Okay, the mark of the beast. That's still a stumbling block for a whole heap of individuals. You got a whole camp out there, okay, known as the IUIC, okay, they pretty much think that the mark of the beast is anything other than the RFID chip. So when that congregation is put into a situation known as the hour of temptation, and the Most High got it to where they got a decision to make, whether they're going to take the chip or whether they're not going to take the chip. What do you think them individuals going to do, man? They're going to take the chip. Okay, they're going to take the chip. because their teacher, their leader, caused them to err. That's why the scripture says what it says, man. Okay, they that lead thee have caused thee to err. And matter of fact, when you go into the book of Isaiah, the 3rd chapter and the 16th verse, it says something to the effect of let me read it right quick. Isaiah 3:16. Okay, Isaiah 3:12 of them, it says, as for my people, as for my people, the Israelites, okay, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. And because they got it to where women rule over them, you look at the whole camp of IUIC, that's a woman-led camp, man. Okay, that's a woman-led group, and that's why they make the errors that they make. That's why they can't see the chip is the mark of the beast. Doth not the scripture says the tabernacles of the Most High is with the men? Okay, it says, and women rule over them. All my people, they that lead thee cause thee to act. So they was led into a position of comfortability, okay, and as a result, they're gonna be destroyed for that position of comfortability because it's all catered unto the women, man. You see that whole congregation is got all of the niceties, man, the comforts, man, the creature comforts. The scripture talks about this path as being a difficult path. Okay, that's not the scripture says within the book of 2nd Ezra, the 7th chapter, also within the book of Matthew, how the Most High set it up to where this was gonna be a straight path. Okay, enter ye at the straight gates. Okay, meaning to say that the path for the men of the Lord was gonna be difficult, man. It wasn't gonna be no easy task. You just, you work your 9 to 5, do your little videos and then, chill out. No, it was gonna be a difficult path. Okay, because the purification that was gonna be necessary for this truth, okay, the fire, okay, that was gonna come about by what? By adversity. The scripture talks about how the acceptable men, okay, are furbished in the furnace of adversity, man. Okay, as for the rest of the people, they're going to be further, because all Israel's going to make it. So how they going to make it if they never caught no hell? They're going to catch hell when those missiles come. That's why the scripture says within the book of Zechariah, the 13th chapter and the 8th verse, how that the 1/3 was going to go through the fire of adversity, and the 2/3 was going to go through the physical fire, which is going to be those ICBM nuclear missiles that the Most High is going to unleash upon this world. Okay? So let's carry on now here within the book of Proverbs, the 1st chapter, and this is the 23rd verse. It says, turn you at my reproof, and behold, I pour out my spirit unto you. So you turn back unto Yahweh Shem Yahshai, because you saw the men of the Lord out there, and the Most High was going to have it to where he was going to pour out the understanding unto you. It makes sense. Okay, here it is, you've been wicked. Okay, you've been born into iniquity. Okay, you see the truth. You see the men of the Lord out there. Okay, you get cut. Okay, doth not the scripture say within the book of Hebrews, the 4th chapter and the 16th verse, behold, the word of the Lord power is powerful, okay, sharper than a two-edged sword, piercing even to dividing as of the soul and the spirit, okay, and is the discerner to the thoughts and the intents of the heart.